What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Award Central Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we are going to be breaking down our Golden Globe winner predictions. I was sitting at my house and I was like, wait a minute. The Golden Globes are literally a week away. And I was like, I had no clue that we were inching that close. But then again, this year has flown right on by, and we are smack dab in the middle of award season. And I'm joined by my podcast partner here, Mr. Benji. How are you, man?
Very good, thank you, Ricky. I'm very eager to get back to another day, another lot of predictions on our first actual winning pod of the year, which is always very exciting and fun. I can't quite believe that it's a week ago today that we're expecting it. And I'm excited for this one. We've got a lot of almost all the categories where I don't think there's an out and out front runner, and that's what I love about award season. I love it when it's a complete unknown.
Oh, hey yo,
So
hey yo.
there you go. You see, I can be funny. So yeah, no, I'm excited to see kind of where we both sit on this one because I feel like we might have differing opinions on a lot of these categories.
Yeah, that between that and the Golden Globes likes to do their own thing. You know what I mean? They don't always march to the same beat of the drum that everybody else does. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Now, obviously, last year, um, I'm actually pulling up last year's winners. I mean, we had obviously Oppenheimer, of course, Poor Things, Boy and the Heron won for animated, which was interesting. Lily Gladstone won for drama, which was interesting. I mean, Killian Murphy was on a run by that point, so that's the good thing. And I agree with you there. Is like looking at last year's winners, we definitely had a little bit of a different vibe this year because last year it was like, all right, these people are winning. We know that they're going to win, so we might as well lock these in. This year, I'm with you. And looking at the categories, and I'm like, I don't really feel like I know confidently who's winning some of these categories. And this is going to start shaping up the award season in a different way that we haven't seen yet, because this is the first true big quote unquote award show that we have so far, the first of many over the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, I guess we'll start at the bottom for best original song, and then we'll go up from there, and we'll go predictions across the board. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell you who we think's going to win, and then we're going to give somebody that could spoil the show there. But for best original song, we have "Beautiful That Way" from The Last Showgirl, "Compress Repress" from Challengers, "El Mel" from Emilia Perez, "Forbidden Road" for Better Man, "Kiss the Sky" from The Wild Robot, and "Mia Camino" from Emilia Perez as well. All right, Benji, who do you think's going to win, and who do you think could play spoiler for best original song?
There's four songs in this category that I think very well could win. I think Beautiful That Way and Forbidden Road are just kind of very happy to be here. I don't really think they have a shot of winning, but that being said, the Golden Globes, like you said, have shocked us from time and time again. I think every year there's that one movie that I have at number five or six. Like last year, for example, I did not think Anatomy of a Fall was going to win screenplay here at all. So I had it at my number six, but then boom, there you go. It came to shock us. So you well and truly never know, but I'm pretty happy with saying that they're not in contention. But then you have both songs from Amelia Perez, you have Kiss the Sky from Wild Robot, and you have Compress Repress from Challengers, all with very good reasons to win. The Wild Robot probably coming from the most acclaimed animated film of the year. It's also a very cute song, which sometimes works. Amelia Perez has the advantage of kind of being the big musical of all of these songs, and then Compress Repress kind of has that very kind of Golden Globesy kind of stylish hip cool vibe that they like to go for in the score categories. But for now, I'm gonna go with Al Mal from Amelia Perez as what I think is going to win. I'm not 100% confident with that. I flip flop between putting that and Mi Camino. I went with Al Mal purely because it's the more well known one. It's the one that's kind of got more publicity, whether it's for better or for worse. I don't know. It's upbeat. It's fast paced. It's a song that Zoe Saldana sings, and she's the front runner supporting actress. My spoiler, I could kind of be a bit boring and just go with the other Amelia Perez song, but I'm going to be a little bit different, and I'm actually going to say Compress Repress from Challengers could really win because that song kind of went from a song that I didn't know, and now it's just lit. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Ricky, but it's kind of coming up everywhere, and it seems to be having this big kind of boom in terms of nominations and people come. I personally, no offense to anybody, I love Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. I personally really don't like this song. However, I know a lot of people do. It's really their thing, and I feel like this is something the Globes could do.
Yeah, if you're listening on the podcast platform, you could jump on over to YouTube and you'll get to see my live reactions to all of Benji's bad takes. But for me, I'm in the same boat. Al Mel is definitely the flashiest of the songs. I think one song that could play maybe spoiler here is Forbidden Road from Better Man. I feel like this movie is getting a little bit more love across the board than I think maybe it even deserves. It's an okay movie. It's all right. I don't think it's as great as everybody says it is, but for me, I think that's the movie that or the nomination song, whatever you want to say, could play spoiler. But yeah, definitely give me Mel Familia Perez. All right, moving on to best original score in motion picture. We have I'm gonna butcher these names tonight, baby. Let's go. Volker Bertelemann from Conclave, Daniel Blumberg from The Brutalist, Chris Bowers from The Wild Robot, Clement Ducal, Kamel for Amelia Perez, and Kamel, sorry, for Amelia Perez, Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross for Challengers, and Hans Zimmer for Dune Part 2. One thing that we know about this category is they're not afraid to award films that might be, not in contention at the Academy Awards. Hindsight,
No,
Mr. Hans Zimmer for Dune Part 2, which I'm not mad at them for nominating because I liked his explanation. I think that his explanation was legit. I think the fact that it isn't eligible is kind of bullshit from the Academy, but here we are. And because of that, I am going to predict that Hans Zimmer is going to win. Um,
ooh,
with the wild card being not even a wild card, I think that probably may win. I don't know who's going to win this category. Honestly, I am not a huge fan of several of these scores. I think they're a little lackluster, but honestly, if I had a personal pick, if I wasn't picking Hans Zimmer, it'd probably be Volker Bertelemann from Conclave because I think that score is actually like it's really good. Like it's a really good score. That being
very
said,
good score.
unfortunately, I'm going to say that Daniel Blumberg could definitely be in the contention because honestly, this could be the Brutalist's Oppenheimer night. This really could be. Benji? I think Benji froze on us there, folks, at home. I lost Benji. So
So am I back?
he's back. He's back. I
I'm back.
removed him and he's
Wait.
back. He's back. Let's bring him back in. All right. What were you saying? Best original score.
So I guess kind of what you said about kind of the Brutalist, Conclave, some of these movies all battling it out. That's kind of I've kind of had to go with like one side because it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to kind of vote all the Brutalist or all the Conclave because I feel like if I did that, I just know in the future it'll be a case of the Brutalist will win the categories I didn't predict it in, Conclave will win the categories I didn't predict it in. So I've actually decided that I'm going to be a bit risky and I'm just kind of gonna go with one movie for a lot of these categories just to see if it pays off. The one movie that I feel like the Globes would probably, I don't know, because the Conclave is so kind of easy to watch. It's got a good pace to it. It's very dialogue heavy, which the Globes like. However, if
And,
there's
and,
there,
and it's way better than the Brutalist. I'll keep going. Sorry.
I won't argue with that one, even though I think I probably do prefer the Brutalist a little bit more. Sorry. However, I've decided to go with the Brutalist in this category as my number one to take it. Like you said, I do feel like if the Brutalist is going to pick up some steam and do really well somewhere, it will probably be at the Golden Globes because it's kind of, it's very big. It's kind of got that kind of cinema feel to it, which I feel like the Globes will really like and appreciate. So that's where I'm putting That's where I'm putting my prediction for this category. In terms of spoilers, again, I really feel like it's anybody's game. I find it really interesting that you had Doom Part 2 at number one, because that was my number five, purely because as it's not been eligible at the Academy Awards, I feel like they just haven't campaigned it as hard and it's kind of dropped off the map. Would love to see it, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So my number two is Conclave to potentially win this category.
Yeah, it's hard going back and forth on what film that you could see working its magic, especially when you start going above the line with categories, because you have Honora that's in that conversation, which obviously leads to the next nominee here is best screenplay, motion picture. Jaquez Adard for Amelia Perez, Sean Baker for Honora, Brady Corbet and Mona Fastfold for The Brutalist, Jesse Eisenberg for Real Pain, Coralie Farget for Substance, and Peter Strahan for Conclave. I'll let you kick off this category for us. Give us a winner and maybe an upset or a second place or whatever.
So I actually love this category. I think they're all genuinely great nominees, and I'd honestly be happy with any of them winning. Um, I feel like this is one of the categories that I'm more confident on. If Honora is going to do well in any category, even if it completely fell off of the map completely, I feel like screenplay would still be a good shot for it. So I've got Honora at number one for screenplay. I feel like Sean Baker's kind of having a little bit of a moment where, love him or hate him, I feel like a lot more people are appreciating him a lot more. And I feel like, especially in his screenwriting, which is where I think Honora will kind of pick up pace. However, it's not a done deal because Conclave, which is my number two, is right there. And like I said in the previous category, Conclave is a lot more dialogue heavy. It's more fast paced. It's more generally story driven and kind of getting you from point A to point B. Whilst, in my opinion, I only thought Honora was okay. I felt like it kind of meandered. So I feel like Conclave does have a really good shot to win this category.
Yeah, I mean, outside of every wrong statement you said about Sean Baker, I am probably on the same boat with you. I don't know, man. This is because you have several different instances here, right? First off, you have this is all one category, which is it really messes everything up, right? You know what I mean? Just being the one category really messes everything up. On the flip side, you really have three, possibly a fourth, kind of a wild card, just kind of lingering around in here with Jesse Eisenberg's Real Pain. Kind of just, can it play spoiler here? I don't think it has enough umph to do so. Again, I feel like one of these two people take director, one of these two people take screenplay. And I do think that Corbet, spoiler alert for later's conversation, is going to take director. So give me Sean Baker for Nora in one of the most laughable scripts of the year. All right, moving right along
Mm-hmm.
to, I mean, I guess are we into the heavy? You are a little bit into the heavy hitters here. All right, so we'll just jump right into best director. Motion picture, a dart for Amelia Perez, Sean Baker for Honora. I mean, that wasn't much of a spoiler since it's the next category. Edward Berger for Conclave, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, The Substance, and then Payel Kapati for All We Imagine as Light. And I'll kick it off. I already said who I think is going to win. I think Brady Corbet is going to win for The Brutalist. To me, um, it just makes too much sense. Man, I don't know, man. I just feel like we are in a lot of trouble in the film world that we have Sean Baker. Look, I understand if you like Honora, whatever, that's your cup of tea. I get it. That's fine. I just don't see how it's so greatly directed that it,
Mm-hmm.
it deserves to win any award. I don't even see why it should be nominated. Again, I'll give you, all right, you like Honora. I can't figure out why. I don't know why anybody does. But I mean I can because I'm saying that you can, but I don't feel like it's a good movie. Taking that hat off like we always do on this podcast by saying, hey, I understand that this is going to still win awards because hell, I'm predicting it to win screenplay, even though I don't like it. But for me, when you watch a film, I don't love The Brutalist at all. I think it's very, very overrated, but I can appreciate the technical aspect that Corbet tried to do with the film, so I can at least appreciate him being nominated because I understand it. I can understand Adard being nominated for Amelia Perez because I think it's a flashy, it's a different, it's a unique, I think it's bold, I think it's visionary direction for Amelia Perez. Conclave, first time I watched Conclave, I was like, this movie kind of sucks. Second time I watched Conclave, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, I think it's such a powerful movie film. It's very good directed. Don't really. I'm not 100% sold on the direction in that one. All We Imagine Is Light, pretty solid. I can't disagree. Pretty solid direction. The substance, yeah, you lost me there. But give me Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, and give me Sean Baker as a little bit of a wild card here, just because again, I think it's those two films, right? It's those two films, and then it's kind of
Yeah.
everybody else. What about you, Benji?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I honestly think my number one's Brady Corbet, then my number two Sean Baker for Anora, purely because at the moment, like it or love it, like it or lump it, sorry, Anora is currently in a lot of people's predictions the front runner to win Best Picture, which is almost kind of makes me feel like I've got to put it somewhere in the director race. But yeah, I think The Brutalist is such a directory film and it's such a feat of filmmaking. Even if you don't like it, it's an ambitious movie, even if you think it's the worst movie ever made. So I think for that, I think just purely out of respect, The Brutalist will probably win. And I do have Sean Baker at my number two here, but I guess it's kind of more of a discussion for another podcast. But I also think there could be a world where Sean Baker gets snubbed for an aura at the Oscars. It happens every year. There's a snub in a movie where a director in a pretty big movie in the awards race just doesn't make it. And I think last year it was Greta Gerwig for Barbie. We had think about when Ben Affleck got snubbed for Argo way back when, or when Denis Villeneuve got snubbed for The First Dune. Happens all the time. And if I was to predict it this year, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Sean Baker.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think people do forget. Like you get five, right? And this five, like, sorry, no offense to like forget. I don't think she's in the conversation. And I know people think I'm wrong. You might even think I'm wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think she's in the conversation when it comes to the Academy. I don't think substance is going to be there, but I definitely agree. First off, we know there's probably going to be a foreign film in the five, which then kind of really minimizes it. I think Denny Villanueva is definitely in that conversation when it comes to best director, and he's not on this list, which was weird. So it's like, all right, we only have five. We have six here without Denis. Hello, you know what I mean? Like you're definitely. I mean, look, I 1000% think Sean Baker is going to be in, but if I don't hear Sean Baker's name on Oscar morning, I might streak the neighborhood naked. I don't know. Um, All right, moving on. Which this is one of the most befuddling things in the entire world, right? One of the things I find so funny is we split up certain categories. We split up the best pictures. We split up the lead actors. We split up those two things. But then supporting, we can only have one category, and then for screenplay, you can only have one category. It's so weird to me how the Golden Globes decided they were going to do these things. But that being said, all right, our nominees for best male actor in a supporting role is Yuri Borsov, for Nora, Kieran Culkin for Real Pain, Edward Norton, Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice, Denzel Washington, Gladiator 2. Personally, I think that Kieran Culkin is going to begin his run of winning the Academy Award here with Guy Pearce coming in as potential number two here. What about you, Benji?
Yeah, completely agree. I don't feel like there's much of a discussion as we had here. I think it's really those two battling out until the end of the day. We could maybe see Edward Norton or Yuri Borisov maybe on a sneak into the race somewhere. I don't think it's very likely. I think I'm 80% sure on Kieran Culkin with an outside shot of Guy Pearce making it in if the Globes really love The Brutalist.
Yeah, I agree with you. Also, everybody predicting for a supporting actor, please put Edward Norton in. He's getting nominated. All right. Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role in any motion picture: Selena Gomez, Emilia Perez, Ariana Grande, Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Margaret Qualley for The Substance, Isabel Rossellini, Conclave, Zoe Saldana, Emilia Perez. I'll let you go first, but I got something to say about this one.
I personally think this one is quite easy in terms of the top two. I think either of these two could win, but knowing the two is very easy, and I feel like everyone's on the same page as me. So right now, purely because I feel like Wicked's kind of going down in its actual love and popularity, and people have calmed down a little bit, even though it still surprised me how well it's kind of done in terms of the awards race so far. I don't think it's going to kind of like win the nation the way people kind of thought. I don't think it's going to win Best Picture at the Oscars. And because of how much that they loved, I mean, yeah, you never know, but I mean, with how much that they loved Amelia Perez in the nominations, and the fact that it's got to win somewhere, surely that many nominations. I do have Zoe Saldana at number one, but then my number two, of course, is Ariana Grande for Wicked. I could maybe see a really weird scenario where Isabella Rossellini wins as like a career award, but I don't know. For now, I'm pretty comfortable saying those two names.
I am confident in those two names as well. I'm confident in understanding that I believe Zoe Saldana should be running away with this. Period. End of story. There's several scenes in that movie you're just like, damn. But me personally, I'm gonna globes it. I'm gonna globes this one. I think that Ariana Grande is gonna win. The
Ooh,
Globes are going to Globes, and I think that Ariana Grande is going to win this category. I still think Zaldana wins the Academy Award, and I think Zaldana is going to win the Critics' Choice Award. But I think the Globes are going to Globes and keep the Wicked momentum a little bit strong. All right.
and
Speaking
you
of this, go
and
ahead.
you know what? With what you just said there, really quickly, people have kind of said, "Oh, the Golden Globes have changed. They don't do the whole Globes are going to Globes anymore." And it's like they've gotten a lot better. Don't get me wrong, but you still have, the September fives and dramas. You have Selena Gomez in supporting actress. Like they still do Golden Globes there a little bit. So to people who don't think that that's a possibility, then I'd really recommend that you kind of reassess because I'm right behind you. By the way, I still going to say Saldana at number one because I feel like if any actor this season is going to sweep, it'll probably be her. But Ariana Grande is at number two. I mean, I'm going to leave it a little bit longer and think about it more. Maybe I'll rewatch the movies, but uh, I'm like 60% on Zoe Saldana, 40% on Ariana Grande for now.
Yeah, and my thing is that's where you're right. It's the Selena Gomez effect, right? You know what I mean? No offense to Selena Gomez, I thought she's very good in Amelia Perez, and they loved Amelia Perez, but I mean Daniel Deadweiler was right there for the piano lesson, and then Anjanou Ellis Taylor, Nickel Boys, makes you know, hang on, sorry, lost my train. Nickel Boys makes a random appearance in Best Motion Picture Drama, but nowhere else. September 5 makes a random Best Motion Picture Drama nomination, but nowhere. You know what I mean? So they're definitely going to Globes, and that's where I definitely feel like this is going to be hit a nail on the head. Where I think that this will be a Globes type of thing, and I think that her winning will bring the Globes such a massive social media conglomerate that will be huge for them. So,
Oh, it'll be
um,
crazy. The stands. Oh my god.
yes, exactly. So, all right, best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Um, this is a category. I will say that.
This is a tricky category.
All right, you have Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain, Hugh Grant for Heretic. You have Gabrielle LaBelle for Saturday Night. You have Jesse Plemons for Kinds of Kindness, Glenn Powell for Hitman, Sebastian Stan, A Different Man. All right, I'll kick us off here. This is what I'm feeling about this category. Sorry, Gabrielle LaBelle, you're out the door. Jesse Plemons, you're out the door. Okay. Glenn Powell, you're out the door, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian Stan, Hugh Grant, Jesse Eisenberg. I feel like it comes down to these three gentlemen. This is where it gets tricky, though. I could see Hugh Grant winning. I really can. And it's weird. Does he even say that? First off, I understand that he's like the focal point of the movie, but I felt like he was like the supporting player in this movie. But that's just me. However, it doesn't matter. There's category fraud across the board because Jesse Eisenberg, or Curran Culkin can technically be elite too. But that being said, I'm struggling here between I think Grant and Eisenberg. I think it would be hilarious if Sebastian Stan won for A Different Man just because A24 fumbled the bag so badly, and I would love Sebastian Stan to be in the conversation for actor at the Academy Awards. I don't think it's going to happen. So because of that, it's Eisenberg or Grant for me. I'm going to predict Grant just to be again. I'm trying to find some differences within this that you can stand out. You might look like an idiot, but at the same time, you could stand out if the person wins. I'm going to say Hugh Grant. I might feel like an idiot saying that, but Eisenberg's probably close second.
So I've actually got the same two, but flipped. So again, I agree. Jesse Plemons and Gabriel Bell definitely out. Glenn Powell probably out, but I think he's still got a chance, unlike the other two names I just mentioned. Sebastian Stan, I'd love to see, but kind of like you said, I think they fumbled the bag so bad with that campaign. I struggle to see it now. So it really comes down to two for me. Um, I'm gonna be a little bit boring and I'm gonna play it a little bit more safe and probably say I think Jesse Eisenberg for Real Pain, purely because, he's got a lot going for him with that movie. He wrote it, he directed it, he starred in it.
We lost Benji again, guys. Benji's in La La Land. Benji's
But I
moving.
feel like that win could maybe. That being said, I've lost me. Damn it.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I feel like are you back? I don't think Benji's back, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Benji is not back. Is Benji back? Somebody tell me. All right. As he was saying, he's Eisenberg. I'm Hugh Grant. I'm going to give him a second here. All right, he's back. I see his face. Oh, nope. I lost him again. But it's all right. All right. Are you there, Benji? Benji's back. Back again. Benji's back. Benji left. Tell a friend. All right. So for me, we're going to move on to best performance by a female actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. And while we bring Benji back in here, we're moving on to best performance by a female actor in a motion picture by musical or comedy. We have Amy Adams for Night Bitch, Cynthia Rovia for Wicket, Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Mikey Madsen for Nora, Demi Moore for The Substance, Zendaya for Challengers. I'm going to go first here. This is Mikey Madsen's award. She's going to win. Period. End of story. I am going to say, as a wild card, give me Carla Sofia Gascon. If for some reason Wicket wins, Cynthia or if Ariana Grande wins for supporting actress, I think that there is a chance that Carla Sofia Gascon could win for Amelia Perez. That's where I'm going to go with. Benji, what do you got?
Oh, I'm very sorry for dropping out of there, folks. But yeah, just to kind of wrap that last category off. Number one, Jesse Eisenberg. Number two, Hugh Grant. Anyway, uh, so yes, I've gone a little bit risky on this one, and I'll be perfectly honest. I am a little bit biased in what I think here. So I really think that any of my top five, and probably your top five, could win here. I think Amy Adams Tonight Bitch is the only one that I think we can put to bed. My number one is Mikey Madison for Honora. I actually do think she has this pretty wrapped up in terms of, like, I could see her just sweeping the season. My only one bit of doubt is that I know that awards voters, more so the Academy, and I don't think the Globes are so bad, but there can be a little bit of a bias against age and young stars, which could play against her. Um, but I think for a film as strong as Honora and something that's completely swept award season, I don't think that'll be relevant to her this year. I think she's going to take it, but I do also think that, and I know you'll probably disagree with me on this, Eric, Ricky, Ricky, but I think Demi Moore is also right there, and I don't think people should underestimate her. I think if she plays her cards right, and I know people are going to think I'm crazy for this, and I sort of hope I am right, so I don't feel really embarrassed in the future. But I think she has a shot to go all the way and win the Academy Award. So for that, and to kind of help fulfill my soul, I'm going to put Demi Moore at number two.
Yeah, you're in fact crazy. Everybody at home agrees with me. They just said so. No. All
We'll
right.
see.
Best performance by a male. I mean, I'm on record. I don't think Demi Moore gets nominated at the Academy Awards. But all right. Different show for different day. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture drama. We have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet, Complete Unknown, Daniel Craig for Queer, Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Timothy Chalamet is winning this, period. With Adrian Brody, probably a close 1A, 1B scenario. But I do think that this is the first win of the big win of the season for Chalamet. And I like it. I think it's going to happen. And I still think that Chalamet is going to win the Oscar, even though I think The Brutalist will win many Oscars. Give me Chalamet for the Globes. Again, I'm going very Globesy across the board. So, yeah.
I actually completely agree with you on this one. I watched Complete Unknown last night. Whilst I wasn't over the moon with it, the one standout of the movie for me was the performances, especially Timothy Chalamet. And if he won that Oscar, I would literally not be unhappy at all. I think it's completely deserved. So my number one is Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, but with Adrian Brody right behind him, ready to steal it from him.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely close, and I definitely like I see Brody winning. You know what I mean? I really do. I mean I can see it happening. I just feel like this might be the start of the run here. All right, best performance by a female actor in a motion picture drama. All right, Pamela Anderson, The Last Showgirl, Angelina Jolie, Maria, Nicole Kidman, Baby Girl, Tilda Swinton, The Room Next Door, Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here, Kate Winslet, Lee. I'll let you kick off this one.
There's so many ways in which this could go. The Globes actually, one thing I do love about the Globes is that they will award foreign performances. Think about Isabella Huppert for Elle. So my number three is Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. I really think that in a shocker, she could like maybe even just win this and not win anywhere else, and then like get the Academy Award nomination. My number one is one that I've kind of gone back and forth with, but I ultimately feel like not only do I personally feel like it's the better performance, but it's also the more Beatty awardsy, Globesy performance, and that's Angelina Jolie for Maria, which I actually think is a great performance, and I think should be getting a lot more attention than what it actually is. And then my number two is a movie that would be interesting to kind of really make it into the awards race, and I'd love to see how her performance fares with a movie that's so kind of adult and sexual. And that's Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl.
Yeah, so I go back and forth on this one between Jolie and Kidman. I'm hoping, because I still believe there is only one challenger to Mikey Madsen, and I think it's Angelina Jolie. I think that she could be the only person that we hear her name during Oscar night that would not surprise me. I think, but I'm with you. I think Mikey Madsen. This is, I mean, obviously her not being in this category gives the opportunity for one of these other performances to get a win and kind of maybe get a little bit of momentum. And I think that's why Angelina Jolie does win here. Nicole Kidman done playing a little bit of wild card. It would Fernanda Torres winning would not shock me either, though. I agree with you. I definitely feel like hearing her name during the Globes would not surprise me either. But I think this could be the start of a run for Angelina Jolie. All right, best motion picture, non-English language. All We Imagine as Light. Million Perez, The Girl with the Needle, I'm Still Here, The Seed of the Secret Fig, and Fermigalo. All right, for me, two films. Amelia Perez. Ooh, actually, this was
I think four
three.
potentially.
Yeah, I think it's I'm Still Here, Amelia Perez, All We Imagine as Light, just because they're peppered somewhere else in this entire thing. But for me, at the end of the day, it just comes down to the power of Amelia Perez. So give me Amelia Perez, even though I'm Still Here and All We Imagine is Light could definitely, yeah.
I do think it's Amelia Perez that's winning purely because it's the only one that got nominated in the best film category. And now that the rule's been lifted on other international films can get in the best film category, you can't even use that as an argument. So I'm pretty sure on Amelia Perez. And then my number two, I really, really struggled with. Purely because it got that director nomination, I'm going to go with All We Imagine Is Light. But at the same time, I'm Still Here got an actress nomination. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, so I can see that winning. Seeger's Sacred Fig is really taken by storm, and some people are predicting that for Best Picture at the Oscars. So I guess you could argue a little bit, but at the end of the day, I also don't really think there's much point because I'm pretty sure Amelia Perez is going to take this anyway.
All right. The award that doesn't matter: cinematic box office achievement.
Oh, do we have to?
Alien, Romulus, Beetlejuice, Deadpool, Wolverine, Gladiator 2, Inside Out, Twisters, Wicked, The Wild Robot. This one is interesting though, because you have Deadpool and Wolverine right there. Okay. Now, if we were awarding this for the actual cinematic and box office achievement, Inside Out should win. Period.
Because it won the most money. Easy.
However, that's not how this thing works. But man, it's really Wicked or Deadpool. I mean, it's really one of those two. And I feel like this is where Deadpool and Wolverine win to potentially get Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman on the stage. So give me that, because I think Wicked will win other awards.
I agree. It's between those two. Wicked didn't make as much money as Deadpool and Wolverine, but it had just as wicked as Deadpool and Wolverine did. Deadpool and Wolverine obviously kind of did a lot for the kind of general pop culture and also made a shit ton of money, especially for an R-rated movie in a year where, because of the strike, we didn't get as many big blockbusters as we probably have hoped. However, purely because I feel like it's a film the Globes are just going to love, a lot like Barbie, I'm just going to go with Wicked and have Deadpool and Wolverine as my number two.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it doesn't surprise me either way. I just feel like, again, if things go the way that I expect them to, if I got an Ariana Grande upset, does it make sense that Wicked probably wins this too? Yes, but they have the fallback plan of giving Deadpool and Wolverine again to get a social media moment from Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman being on the stage together. I think that's again, I feel like that's where we are in this day and age. So, all right. That being said, let's go to Best Motion Picture Animated: Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Moana 2, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, The Wild Robot. Easy answer, probably Wild Robot, even though it's not the best movie on this list. Give me a wild card as Flow, though.
It's interesting you say that, because my wild card isn't Inside Out 2 either. My number one is The Wild Robot, of course. I do really feel like that's winning. But my wild card is actually Memoir of a Snail.
I don't hate it. All right. Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy: Honora, Challengers, Amelia Perez, A Real Pain, The Substance, Wicked. Again, interesting to say the least, because I feel like we have some players here. Substance is a player, I think, just based on the nominations peppered across the board. A Real Pain isn't to potential because it's a peppered in nominations across the board. This category actually makes sense. Because every single one of the films is peppered across all the other categories. Okay, so this one actually makes sense. Every single film here has nominations outside of the just this motion picture thing, right? So because of that, I definitely could see wins from just about anybody here. But I'm going to say that Nora is going to win, with Wicked playing a spoiler here. Benji is frozen. Let it go. Let it go. But yeah, I do think that Wicked can win here. Again, it's one of those things where it's like it's going to be a Wicked night, no pun intended, or it's going to be Nora's going to win several different things. I could see the balance of things structuring here, but for me, it's like it's Nora is my winner, and Wicked is my part two here. So Benji, what do you think here about who's going to win and who's playing spoiler?
It's an interesting category. I can see literally any of these movies taking it. They all make perfect sense. My personal pick would be The Substance. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's just what I'd like. So number one, I'm gonna go with Nora. I think purely purely just because it's what my gut's telling me, and I haven't got much of a reason behind it. Because I equally think my number two could also win, and that's Wicked. I'm going with Nora purely because it has that little bit more acclaim behind it. I think it has more bigger wins behind it that night potentially. So number one, Nora, then number two, Wicked, and then I guess it's just good to mention because I think they're all so close. My number three is also Amelia Perez.
Yeah, it's definitely a battle there. And all right, for the capped off the final best motion picture for drama, the category that doesn't make any freaking sense at all. September 5, Nickel Boys, Dune Part 2, Conclave, A Complete Unknown, The Brutalist. I believe this is a two-film race where we have Conclave and The Brutalist. I think The Brutalist does take this home with Conclave runner-up. Spoiler, I'll just throw Nickel Boys out there because it deserves it.
Yep, I'm completely with you on that one. Like I said to you, I'm going to put all my eggs into the Brutalist basket. So I'm going to put the Brutalist at number one, Conclave at number two. Then I feel like, my number three would probably actually be a complete unknown. I feel like it's a movie the Globes would really kind of admire. And I feel like at the moment it's kind of peaking at the perfect time. And then, yeah, but
As
equally,
it. Sorry.
yeah. I mean, yeah, unknown. Like, there's a lot of charm to it, that's for sure. But I don't know. Then there's also Nickel Boys at number four that I think could win. Doom Part Two would be awesome. September 5 and get the fuck out of here, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird cat. Like I said, Honora, Challengers, Amelia Perez, Real Pain, The Substance, Wicked, all those movies have categories everywhere. Nickel Boys, September 5. Dune Part 2 has literally, one other nomination, so it doesn't make any
One
sense
other
at all.
nomination, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. I mean, this is a three-legged race, Brutalist, Complete Unknown, and Conclave. But we'll see. We will see. We will see. It'll be interesting to see, that's for sure. This week, we'll be dropping our Best Picture and Best Director predictions on the Oscars after this one drops later in the week. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and then as we inch closer, we'll probably do I don't know if Benji will be awake, but because he's over
I
yonder,
will.
but
I will be awake.
he will be
You
awake
can assure you.
post Globes, so that will definitely be a lot of fun. We'll see what we got to say about some of those. Let's see if some of those predictions come to light. We'll see if the night is quite wicked or if it's a complete unknown. Who knows? There's some puns for you, and we'll be out the door. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Award Central podcast.
See you later, folks.